Hello and welcome back to another episode of Crypto My God. And I bet a lot of you guys are saying that today because when I woke up and looked at the prices, it was in down only mode, and it'll make you think, oh my God. Let's unpack that really quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on the markets, but it is looking like El Presidente Trump is throwing a bunch of bangers at the wall, all sorts of insanity that is justified by getting the entire world scared and nervous and afraid. Also that they are galvanized to buy government bonds, raising the value of the dollar and the amount of dollar holders out there. His agenda, in my opinion, will be to devalue the dollar once he gets in office, which will do a few things. It'll tackle the debt, and it will also put all of these foreign holders of the US dollar in a sticky situation. It gives him a lot of authority to make moves. Now, is that bad for us today? Yeah, I mean, it sucks. Everyone's freaking out. They're losing their mind. They don't know what's coming. And of course, you can see the markets are responding appropriately. My guess is that in inauguration, we'll be able to flip that. There'll be a little bit more confidence in what's going on. And until the 20th of January, we're probably going to be in a short-term downward trend. So market's not so fun. Let's move on beyond it. Today, I want to start talking about some more entertaining parts of the crypto industry. And of course, I think if you're following along, we're going to do NFTs. They're still great. They're still robust. Everyone said NFTs are dead after 2020. I think they're amazing. They're like meme coins, but they're even more potent at bringing people together. Now, if anyone's looking at the space, one of the most prominent and successful ones today is the Pudgy Penguins. And for good reason. They're fucking adorable. But beyond their cuteness, they've also got quite an amazing story. So just a bit of background was that these were a 10,000 PFP profile picture collection. Came out in the last cycle. Their founders and their original team sort of fell off, didn't do a great job. And what ultimately happened was that the IP behind the brand was purchased by a guy named Luca. You should look him up. Amazing story, amazing founder. And he has brought the Pudgy Penguin ecosystem back from the dead. He got them into Walmart, where they are collectible purchases, and it's set up in a way that as an owner of a penguin, you can actually secure your own IP and build product and make money around them. So that's a really amazing concept around NFTs, far beyond just a collectible JPEG. And of course, there's been so much more. So they've really started to pick up steam. Let's just take a gander at these cute guys real quick, right? In the previous cycle, when they were only JPEGs, the rarity traits were really important. I would say that while certain things like this gold crown guy in the corner, these nice hats, like the cooler they look, there are some avenues of interest in why you would want them. But to be frank, just having a Pudgy in its own has been extremely rewarding. And why is that? Well, very recently, actually, right before the new year, they dropped this token over here called Pengu. Oh, look at that. Look at that animation. Look how tight all of this is. Now, Pengu was really distributed evenly across Pudgy Penguins, Lil Pudgies. There's a third one, Rod Holders, and a whole gamut of other ecosystems like different NFTs, maybe participants in DeFi protocols, things like that. Now, what's really interesting is that the Pudgy Penguin NFTs themselves sit on Ethereum. It is a deep and rich NFT environment over there with a lot of things to operate on. However, Pengu is really going after the meme coin vibes, and those sit mostly on Solana. And that's for a few reasons. One, it's fast and it's cheap and it's easy to launch coins on Solana. We also had the advent of Pump.Fund, something I'll cover later, which allows anyone to launch a coin. So this isn't like the previous cycles. There's now 50,000 plus coins being generated per day. So if you're thinking, man, I got to get in on this, it's actually quite hard to do signal through the noise. Now, Pengu dropped from all of the NFTs that sat on the Ethereum blockchain. They dropped the Pengu token on Solana. This brought two communities together in a pretty amazing way if you're thinking about onboarding as many users to your brand as possible. They now have the NFT holders from Ethereum, all of the meme coin traders and degenerates from Solana. So really, really rad. What's also interesting is that the Pengu airdrop is now basically equal in value to the value of the NFTs. So let's say you had one Pudgy Penguin, which is going for about $80,000. I know it's crazy. They actually airdropped you about $80,000 now worth of Pengu. So this is an interesting play on the investment landscape. And this is really just the start. You can actually find these toys at Walmart. I believe there's some at Target now. I've seen guys start their own brands, making little available on Amazon bath toys out of the Pudgies that he has IP rights to. So it's really cool. It gives all of the holders and the community optionality to, you know, make a life around these things. So that's why this has been so successful. And aside from that, they've also kind of gone off this narrative of kindness. I think it's really nice vibes. I will say from the previous NFT run, we have seen that like community and vibes do kind of die out when the price dies. But again, this has much firmer grounds to it. The community behind this is like quite stellar. So that's what's going on with Pudgy Penguins. Of course, if we want to look at where their value's at, we actually had quite an amazing run. This is blur.io. This is a pretty consistent site for trading NFTs. We can see that the trending is actually the top two is Pudgy Penguins and Little Pudgies. So not bad there. And if we do look at Pudgy Penguins, get out of here, MetaMask, we can see that the Penguins are doing quite nicely, right? The cheapest, most available one is 25.99 ETH. That is buku dollars if you want to do the math. I'm guessing it's around the 90K range or something. But anyway, these Pudgies are massive. Looks like people are buying them. They're shifting on us. If you just want to check them out, go to blur.io. You can easily find the Pudgies. I mean, they're pretty damn cool, right? If you want to click on them, you can look. What's really neat about Blur is you can do multiple buys. You can check out the stats. It's really robust for data. Sales are pretty consistent. We're seeing some Pudgy sales happening day over day. And of course, the depth of this is representing sort of what does the market look like, right? How deep are buy and sell orders? So can you sell it if you wanted to? This is a good metric. Now, what's going on next is actually something, and it seems like I lost it a bit, but they are building an entire new chain around Pudgy. Basically, the entire vision here is that crypto is nerd shit, and I think we all get it. But Pudgy wants to be the everyman's kind of plan. And as a result, they're building their own chain called Abstract Chain. You can see if we go here, I'll take you to the website. But the goal is to build an entire blockchain experience that is for the layman. The wallet is very simple. You don't need to do seed phrases. You don't need self-custody. You log in with an email address. Building on top of it is accessible kind of stuff. There's really not much going on the front page, so I am going to hop back to sort of their Twitter, their X. But here you can see that the abstract mainnet is coming. It's coming very soon. And one interesting thing is that it is built on ZK technology. That means zero knowledge, which is a way to basically confirm all of the details inside of a transaction or a deal, validate them as true, but without ever revealing to either one of the agreeing parties what exactly is going on. I think this is probably one of the most important things we will get out of crypto. As everybody knows, phishing scams and all sorts of things on the internet that rely on our KYC, our Know Your Customer data, the things that are collected from the big organizations, and basically anywhere you go on the internet, those all get hacked. Even our social security numbers were exploited recently. And of course, it goes as dangerous as seeing 23andMe, where specific genetic profiles like the Ashkenazi Jews get released. It's my personal opinion that KYC is actually one of the most criminal practices that we have in modern society. These companies collect all of our data in these giant honeypots, and it's basically impossible for them to protect that. Now, what we can do with ZK is basically take the identifiers out of the identity, right? Let's say I want to apply for a mortgage. In a ZK ecosystem, it would say, does he have the funds and can we lock them up? It doesn't need to know my name. It doesn't need to know my social. It doesn't need to know the whole prerequisite of things that can be used to exploit me, right? For all intents and purposes, you can find people's information on the internet and show up at the front door. So ZK is truly amazing stuff, and it is at the foundational layer of the abstract mainnet. So that's really, really cool. It's also one of the first blockchains to be launching on this technology. So double kudos to the Penguin crew. As we look forward and keep kind of going farther and farther into it, you know, there's some really amazing information. I actually found this guy, Loshmi, on chain, and he's provided this complete guide for abstract that I think is pretty robust. I will put a link to this in the description of this video, and we'll move on from there. But there's a lot of interesting things. Obviously, you can see Ethereum fees are super expensive. Abstract Fees are very minimal. But when we go back to the ecosystem, we start to see some really fun stuff because like people are beginning to build on it. Just going through it, what is Frosted Frenzy, right? This looks pretty cool. And if I go to the website and follow that path, we're actually going to see that this is an entire battle royale video game. And for those who don't know, this is like Fortnite, the multi-billion-dollar video game that is free to play. And you can see now you've got pudgy characters in there, right? And basically creating this entire game around it. So you can see how these ecosystems are starting to grow. Now, one of the cool things about gaming is that you can, on top of blockchain, actually keep all of the rewards, right? If you get points, if you get assets. One thing to note is that Ethereum was actually created because its creator, Vitalik, spent hundreds of hours on World of Warcraft to get a sword, a very powerful sword. And the sword was deemed too powerful by the developers. So they took it and they just eliminated it. He felt rugged. He had hundreds of hours of effort. What did he have to show for it? Absolutely nothing. Now in a blockchain world, if you get that sword, it's your sword, you keep it. Another interesting game to look at is Gunzilla, where everything is happening on chain in terms of the assets that you own. So that is a first-person shooter on PlayStation, Xbox, and beyond, and all of the limbs, all of the guns, all of the skins are things that you own and you can sell for real money. So it's starting to get really cool and really interesting. And Abstract is going to be a place for people that want to build consumer-facing applications. And that is going to be a revolution because, quite frankly, my time in crypto has been focused on nerd shit, on really technical, basically, my whole thesis was I want to own the foundational layers of the internet. So it's been mostly code-based elements. Now we're getting into applications, and the things that you can do are utterly insane. We have gains coming, which is another Ethereum L2. That just means we're getting cross-pollination with some of the things that already exist. Tons of art. This is really cool, just art-based NFTs, which are actually doing really well today. Magic Eden, the primary NFT trading platform, obviously working with them. And it's basically endless. Like there's a lot of amazing, really cool things happening on this chain. So one thing we're going to do is, anytime we see something coming in crypto, one of the best opportunities that you can get from that is to try to dive in and push some buttons. Look at this is a credit card, right, that you can spend from Abstract. So I want to just go through a really quick how-to on what we can do to basically start poking around. There is a testnet going on right now where anyone who is technical can start to look at the Abstract chain and figure out what they're interested in. And oh man, so many more on-chain heroes only on Abstract. Look how cool this is, guys. I mean, yeah, we're going to have an entire robust world. This is really, really fun. Now, all of these things are launching. They're coming very soon, actually. See how it feels knowing January 2025 is only a few days away. They are building the hype and all of that. Now, if we want to get a little bit technical, we can go to docs.abs.xyz/tooling/faucets and start to look at the Abstract chain. One of the first things you're actually going to need is looking at the block explorer. So here's just a very simple overview of the ZK stack. Again, that means zero knowledge. Then we go to the Abstract Chain Explorer. This is a little bit more up front. Oh, we can already see blocks being produced. This is very positive. Again, these are testnet. This is not mainnet. So everybody's in here just kind of poking buttons and hoping that, nothing breaks. And of course, if it does break, that's what testnets are for. So as we continue to go on, there's tooling, there's bridges, a lot of really useful elements. Now, one thing to keep in mind as we look at getting started, I am just looking for the information to add Abstract to my wallet. Great. So for anyone who's used a wallet before, I'm just going to kind of assume that you can find that content elsewhere. I'm using MetaMask. It's like the most obvious, most straightforward one. There's a lot of information. I have nothing funded here. So I'm going to give it a try, see how we can get this added to our wallet. And let's keep going. Let's see. All right, so now I have a wallet. It's fresh. It's on Ethereum. But what I really need to do is add Abstract if I really want to mess around, right? So on the docs.abs.xyz, there is something that says connect to Abstract. For anyone who's really experienced in this, basically you can open up, add a new chain inside of MetaMask. This is all the necessary information here. the Explorer address, the RPC URL. But it also looks like they've just got a button set up. So that's pretty straightforward. And that seems to input it directly in. And if we look in this top left, there's abstract testnet. Again, guys, you could go to add custom network, just copy this data in here. You'll get the same thing, but it puts me on. So now I'm on the testnet. That's pretty cool. But what can we do with it, right? I want to go to faucets because unfortunately I need some Ethereum on top of abstract to accept. And what I've actually done, just to go back, I'm trying, you see abstract testnet faucets. I've chosen triangle because it says requires sign up. I don't really feel like that. So we're going to go in here and I'm just going to put in my address. I don't really know it. I've never used this before. Right, paste and request 0.001 ETH. All right, cool. So I put it in and I hit go and it ran. You can see error. It's already requesting things. I don't know what the 2.53 ETH is. I think we can probably ignore that. But if I go back to my wallet now, I have $3.20 USD in Ethereum on abstract. That's not real money. It's testnet ETH, guys. Don't get too excited. But at least now I'm funded and I can start to dive into the ecosystem and really begin to explore what can I do, what can I poke around with. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really identified anything yet that I'm super pumped about, so I will be going through all of these applications. We've got Kuga Labs on abstract chain, 77-bit. But of course, if there's anything that we can log into and click with, we want to try because you never know when early users get rewarded. You could call this farming. I know abstract tries to avoid that word, but there's a lot of interesting things going on. And now that I have some assets, some Ethereum inside of abstract, I can get to exploring. And guys, it's going to be a fun world. I think this is probably going to be one of the biggest plays in crypto in 2025. Again, it's very consumer focused. It is not the deep core tech nerd shit. So we are going to see fun games, fun stories, fun NFTs. And of course, there's a ton of great content if you come into the Abstract X account. So I highly recommend that. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. We're going to keep having some more fun while the market sucks. I'll get more technical back when it picks back up. And if there's anything that you want to learn about, holler at me. It's been a great time, and thank you for tuning in to Crypto My God.